Welcome to Kitchen Table Guitars. Hello and welcome back to the Dragon build, the Dragon bass build. This episode we're going to start working on the body, which is where the fun's really going to start. So yeah, here we go. Right, the body. And this is where the fun really starts. The neck, nothing particularly unusual about the neck apart from, you know, the headstock, but other than that it's a pretty standard neck. So the neck is going to go here. I've decided to do a bolt-on. And so there's a whole load of things that are going to be tricky about this body. One is the shape, because this is effectively meant to kind of come down and underneath here, so these are two different levels. There's the head, and there's the whole idea of the scales and the finish. So in terms of the head, I've decided to go with a somewhat unusual route. I'm going to get my daughter to design it on CAD, and then we're going to get it 3D printed at a school, hopefully. And then somehow that's going to fit on like a spigot here. I'm going to make a wooden bit that's going to fit on, but obviously I can't make that until I've got the 3D printed head. So that's what we're going to do there. And in terms of the shape, it's going to be really interesting how we're going to do that. So with scales, I've had a number of ideas. When I was thinking about the scales, I was thinking about this sort of thing here. So what I tried was just drawing some scales in with a Sharpie, and then I stained it all yellow, and then I carved out some bits here. I got some bits that go on a Dremel, wood carving bits, little ball end cutters and stuff, and took some material out here in these areas here, but it was pretty rough. And then I put a red stain on top, and it kind of looks alright from a distance, but honestly it's pretty rough. I was expecting it to be slightly easier to do the carving, but I don't know why, but it looks pretty rough. And in the context of the design, I suspect that in certain areas of the design it will be almost impossible to get the tools in to do it. I looked at doing it slightly bigger, and you can see I've done some staining tests here to see what things look like. And then I thought, you know, it's fish scales, well, it's not fish scales, dragon scales. What can I use? I went on to eBay and I came back with these, which, believe it or not, is plastic wedding confetti. It's really super thin. I don't know how thin it is, but I mean it's super thin. Plastic wedding confetti, various different colours. So I thought I'd try them out and basically start gluing them in a pattern. So that's what I've tried out here. Now, first of all, I tried out in a random pattern, just gluing them on randomly, and then I realised that you really need to do it in more of an organised fashion. So that's why I drew the lines on here, and effectively I was going 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and alternating like that to get a decent pattern. And you know, I quite like that effect. I think it's quite a good effect. It actually has quite a smooth, it's slightly ridged, but it's got a smooth feel to it, a bit like a snake. If you've ever picked up a snake, they're deceptively smooth, and it feels like that. So I'm quite liking that finish, and I think I'm going to go with that. A couple of things I'm worried about is that obviously it's going to flick off, and at the edges it's going to be a bit tricky. And also I'm going to need to cover the whole thing in some form of lacquer, I guess, some sort of spray on lacquer. and I really don't know which ones to use. I haven't used spray-on lacquers before. I don't know about polyurethanes or polyesters, or I don't know. 2 parts, 1 part, I don't know. So anyone who knows and is in the comments who can suggest something, I'll be most appreciative. Effectively, I'm planning to cover the scaly parts of the body with this effect, and then spray over it to sort of seal them in and glue the whole lot together. At the moment I just used a dab of super glue under each one. So yeah, that's that. It's going to be fun getting it into the getting it into certain areas though. But I suspect it's going to be a lot easier than trying to carve the whole lot. What I decided to do earlier on was actually try my template out just to see how it fits. So I stuck this on here and routed out about 10 mil. I tried it and realised it was actually a bit loose. So what I did is I stuck a layer of masking tape on one side here and did it, and then continued for another 10 mil, and it's definitely got tighter down at the bottom. But there's still an element of, you know, sliding in and out a little bit too easily, and it's a bit wobbly at this end. So what I'm going to do is another test on this side, but I'll put masking tape on both sides. Hopefully that will give me the fit I need for the neck. So I tried it again with 2 or 3 layers of masking tape, and so I realised what I need to do is actually shim it. I've got some 1/2 mil veneer here, so I'm going to glue this on here, and that's going to give me a nice tight neck pocket. talking things through with my mate Matt the other day about the body and how I'm going to carve this shape and what's it going to look like, and I was, well, I don't really know yet and everything. So Matt, he actually is, what he does is he designs furniture for a living, so he's very used to modelling in 3D, and what he said to me was, Phil, my advice is you want to give it at least 2 tries to model this thing in something else before you try hacking into your nice, expensive and beautifully pocketed and everything routed piece of wood, because you're going to make a couple of cock-ups with it, whether you like it or not, which makes sense, and after all that's what he does. So to that point I have got hold of this stuff here, which is a very high density, what is it, high density? I don't know how you call it, they're very fine grain solid insulation. It's basically the same thickness, it's about 50mm, and I'm going to use this to carve with and try out my shape, so I know exactly. I've got a couple of them, and I'm going to have a go at these first before I actually get stuck into the wood, because I really don't know what I'm doing, and I'd rather ruin this, and this is going to be a lot easier to carve before I get stuck into my last bit of wood. So that's what I'm going to do. In order to make the body blank, well, the body, I guess you call it mock-up, I've taken this, and with the use of things like coping saws, a whole load of other tools, that proved to be quite useful. Obviously, these are sort of sculptor's rasps. They were really brilliant, and I used this in the end to get a really fine finish. So once I hacked away at it, caused an absolutely enormous amount of dust, I end up with this. I'm sure it's all in the shot. So yeah, this is what it's starting to look like, well, yeah, the interesting thing about doing this, which is a really valuable exercise, was that aside from the fact I'm actually starting to see what the thing's going to look like in real life, the process of having to cut it out and working out how difficult it was going to be in certain areas was really interesting. So getting this here is going to be really interesting. I suspect I might have to make a template and then route this out, because obviously it's at different levels. Carving in here, that's not easy. Obviously this bit is going to be a bit tricky, as well as putting the scales in there. That should be a right laugh. But there's nothing at the moment that's looking like it's impossible. So this is the body, or the foam mock-up fitted with the actual neck. And I suspect, I mean, obviously this is going to be made of wood, so it's going to be a lot heavier. It's not too badly balanced, but then obviously 4 tuning heads going to go on the end there. The frets are going to go in, which are going to add some weight. However, I'm also going to take quite a lot of weight out of the neck when I profile the rear of the neck. So that will probably cancel each other out, but there's definitely going to be some more weight when I put the tuners in. Obviously this is going to be wood, and there's going to be things like the bridge and some electronics and stuff, but I'm wondering whether or not it's going to be a little bit neck heavy. But and maybe it would have been better off with a short scale neck. However, I really haven't got the time to do that now, or more so the inclination. But we'll see. I'll make it like it is now. It's going to be bolt on if I need to put a short scale neck on it. I've still got the whole lump of wood and everything from this job, so I can always make a short scale neck and stick that on because it's going to be bolt on. So I'm just going to carry on as we go and see what happens. Template's now been made. A lot of sanding and masking. I really would love to have one of them spindle sander things for this sort of job, but anyway, you can get it done in the garden with some files and a lot of sandpaper. But anyway, so now it's very much point of no return time. That's the shape, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out with a jigsaw as much as I can in terms of big lumps, then and then drill this out, and then I'm going to route down around this template in increments. This area here I have to stop at halfway down because that's going to remain, and then I continue routing all the way down through these areas here until I've gone all the way through, so I get the full outline. So out with the masking tape and super glue. So that's it for part one of the body build. Quickly, where we've got to, we've got the shape outlined, roughly outlined, and I've got the holes drilled for the cavities, for the control cavity. I've got it roughed out at the back. I've got the neck pocket and the pickup pocket done. Neck pocket is looking good. You know, that's what I like to see. So we continue next time, basically carving the 3D shape and working out how we're going to do that and finishing off all the control cavities. One exciting thing that's happened is yesterday I had delivered the head, which is, I'm really excited. It's pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty cool. So that's gonna go here, and so I've got to finish. I can now finish off doing on the neck here, and attach this sort of through a spigot which is hidden behind the ear. So that's going to look really good. So I'm very excited to see how that turns out, and then we'll see how the whole weight and everything works. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you next time. See you later.